but her children are awakening. For too long, our voices were silenced by the noise of imperialism. The chains of colonization, reborn under new names, loans, wars, and propaganda. But today, the youth rise. We are the generation that will rewrite and write a new chapter for this continent. We are the ones who will end the second colonization. We are the ones who will speak truth when the world turns away. The time for silence is over. This is not for entertainment, this is enlightenment. This is the awakening of Africa's mind, body, and spirit. Welcome to the revolution of thought. Welcome to Free Africas. Welcome to the echoes of Africa.
Viva Zambioma! Viva! Viva Zambo! Viva! Viva Namibia! Viva! Viva Africa! Viva! Viva Africa! Viva!
Wake up. The fight for true liberation. Today we are talking about Africa's historical struggle. We are talking about Africa under neo-colonialism. We are talking about the youth movements and campaigns to know. For centuries, Africa was stolen from us. Colonization destroyed our economies, our culture, and even our sense of self. Countries like Congo, Sudan, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ethiopia, Mali, Senegal, Angola, Mozambique, Morocco, Namibia, Botswana, Lesotho, Eswatini, Chad, Niger, Burkina Faso, Cameroon, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Somalia, Madagascar, Malawi, Togo, Benin, Republic of Congo, Central African Republic. Like every nation, you can count like numbers of countries. Every nation has a story of a struggle or of struggle. Colonial powers exploited us for resources. You can name Congo for minerals, South Africa for gold and diamonds, Nigeria for oil, Sudan and Libya for political influence and also minerals. Even after the independence of Africa, neo-colonialism continues under new forms. Economic control, multinational cooperations, foreign-backed politics, and cultural influence. All of these things are happening in the now, in the neo-colonialism, because Africa is facing neo-colonialism. Africa is under neo-colonialism, which so-called colonialism 2.0. Colonialism didn't truly end. Today, Africa faces colonialism 2.0. The economic exploitation, the debt trap, the IMF, the World Bank loans, the multinational corporations or companies extracting our wealth, political interference, backing certain leaders, supporting conflict, and weakening nations, resources being taken, minerals, oil, water. Our natural resources continue to benefit foreign powers. The cultural influence promoting foreign values, media, education systems that erodes the true African identity. This is why many African youth must wake up, understand the system, and reclaim our future. youth movements and campaigns to know, despite these challenges that we are facing, Africans, especially the youth, are fighting back. Some movements that people need to know about are like the SAYA, South African Youth Activist, which is focused on Pan-Africanism education, youth empowerment, and activism. Can be online activism or the traditional activism. The Amani Dube protest, mobilizing youth, young people against injustice, inequality, and systemic issues. The hashtag SA and SARS in Nigeria. The youth-led movement fighting policy brutality and government corruption. The hashtag Bring Our Girl Childs in Nigeria too, advocating for kidnapped kids and the movement and the government accountability. The Pan-African Youth Network, connecting youth Africans or African youth across borders for education and collaboration and activism. Grass movements are and still and are there, they exist in many countries in Africa, all fighting for justice and sovereignty. These campaigns show us that our liberation depends on us taking action. Africa cannot and will never will never ever rely on outsiders to fight for our freedom. Many people are asking, what can African youth do or what should they do? So how do we fight back? It's simple, guys. We need to educate ourselves. We need to learn the African history, the political systems, the economies, and the mechanisms of neo-colonialism, because knowledge is power. We need to support African businesses and innovations. We need to buy local. We need to invest in African products. We need to support African startups. We need to promote Pan-Africanism. We need to unite across borders. We need to connect with youth movements and amplify African voices. We need to engage in activism, join movements like Abosaya. We need to participate in protest. We need to spread awareness online or traditional, right? Every voice counts. We need to hold government accountable. We demand transparency for fair policies and prioritization of African interest. We need to create content that will help us in the end, that will educate us. Use social media, podcast, blogs to educate and inspire others. Because we need to understand and remember that freedom is not just political. Freedom is economic, it is cultural, and it is intellectual. The urgency of the movement. Right now, Africa is at a crossroad. Conflicts in Sudan, Ethiopia, DR Congo, and Libya. Economy crisis in Zimbabwe, Nigeria, and our very own South Africa. Exploitation of resources across Ghana, Angola, Mozambique, Namibia, you can count till morning. We cannot wait for someone else to fix this, because we are looking for solutions outside, but we need to see that we are the solution, because the youth is the power. We are the voice and we are the change. The call to action is clear. Educate, empower, and unite. We need to engage. We need to talk about these issues because they are big issues. They are big issues that we need to talk about. We need to use online activism. We need to talk about this, because there is no liberation that is there without talking, right? There is no liberation that doesn't start with engaging. You cannot wake up and then you are free, but you didn't engage. You didn't sit down and talked about those issues, right? So today, I'm challenging every African watching this. You need to wake up, take action, reclaim your continent. Follow movements like Abosaya, right? The Amani Dube protest in South Africa. Educate your peers, speak out, speak up, and build the Africa we deserve. Because Africa is not just a place in the map, it is a legacy, it is a future, it is us, it is the people. The question is, what role will you play? If you believe in freedom, free, strong, and united Africa, kindly subscribe, share this video, and enjoy the moment together. We can awaken the continent and shape its destiny. Every liberation begins with a conversation, a whisper that turned into a roar. The voices of our ancestors still echo through the soils that we walk on every day. Africa is not silent. She is speaking through us, through the youth who refuse to accept poverty as destiny, corruption as culture, or silence as peace. We are the thinkers, the doers, the dreamers of a free continent. The generation that will rewrite what it means to be African, intellectually and powerfully. This is more than content. This is consciousness. This is the rebirth of Pan-African roots, the awakening of a generation. When you listen to Echoes of Africa, you are not just watching. You are joining a movement that believes in the power of words, the strength of unity, and the unstoppable rise of an educated, fearless youth. Because the war of Africa is not fought with guns anymore. It is fought with minds and voices. And we are the new soldiers.